Hey, my friends, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. Building Wins Live. This is a fun day for me. An old time friend and compadre from the industry, somebody a lot of people in the industry know, Juan Roman with Aztec Washer. And we're going to have a great conversation about the pipe boot and washer industry, more specifically, probably pipe boots, and chat a little bit about Aztec, where they come from, how they got here, where we are, and we have a great chat. So hang on just for about another 30 seconds or so, and Juan will be right back with us. Hey, my friend.
Hey, Randy, good to see you.
Good to see you, my buddy, my friend, my pal. Hey, look at who's already up on the screen. You remember Zach Biggie? You remember him?
Oh,
You
Zach,
remember
yes,
Zach?
how are you,
Juan?
man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
man,
up?
good to see him. I know we haven't seen, well, there hasn't been any trade shows in the last year or so, so it's
Exactly.
good to see, some unfamiliar faces occasionally. So it's good
Exactly.
to know
Exactly.
he's watching.
Exactly. So, well, before we get started, and we're going to talk about the trade show too coming up that we just chatted off camera about hanging out in 3 weeks from today. Will be or tomorrow, I guess technically. But Juan, give us the story of Juan for a minute. Who is Juan? And tell us a little bit about what we ought to know about Juan before we get into business and where we've been, where we're going, all those kind of things.
Sounds good. Well, first, Randy, I wanted to say thank you very much for having me on. It's an honor, coming on your show and just having, like you said, a conversation with your friends. It has been a while since we've actually sat down and kind of chatted. So I'm very, very happy that I got this invite. Juan Roman, if you ask a few people, what does he do? No one really knows, But I'm the sales manager for Aztec Washer Company. I've been with Aztec for 20 years. I am father of one, and one's up on his way. I have another baby coming in July, so that's something else that I'm looking forward to.
Congrats, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know we're 7 years apart, so it was a little bit of a surprise, but we're very, very happy, and we're just excited to have an addition to the family. I know my little one's extremely happy. She's been asking for a sibling for 4 or 5 years now, so when she got the news, it was just a celebration, and we're just really looking forward to it. So we're very, very excited.
Nice.
But yeah, like I said, I've been here for 20 years with Aztec, and I really love what I do. I love the premise of your show. It says building wins, and especially our industry, the way things are is just we're really service oriented, and you meet great people along the way that are just they're just goers. They're workers. They want to get things done, and it's really been an awesome experience for me to grow in this industry for the last 20 years. Now that I say 20 years, it just seems such a long time ago. It's to me, it feels like I just started, but I've been in it for 20 years, and I've known great people such as yourself, Randy. That's you've been doing this for 40 plus, and I
You had to
don't
bring
know
that up,
anybody
didn't
that
you?
does it any better. Really, I mean, you're great. You've always uh, I love how you're changing what you do and how you do it. You're always coming up with something new and how to reach out to people and how to connect people and bring people together. And that's something that I've really learned and just admired by with someone like you, Randy, that's been in the industry for such for that long time, and you're just always reinventing yourself, and that's kudos to you and your personality and your work ethic. And these 20 years, I try to learn little things from different people, and just try to better yourself. I think that's at the end of the day, that's really what I my goal is just, hey, yesterday's yesterday, today's a new day, tomorrow is unknown, but every day just want to be a little bit better in what you do, family, personal, business, anything like that. Just always try to be a better person, a better
Yeah.
father, better son, better uh, worker, employee. It's just always trying to move up, move up, move up, and that's
Right.
something that I learn from you, and I see that from you.
Well,
It's great.
but
I love what I do.
way too kind, but thank you. You've mastered the art, my friend, because 20 years, two things. One, you're obviously good at what you do, and I've known you for probably the whole 20 years because I've been doing this for a long time. I don't recall the exact time or place we met. You just seem to have been part of Randy's world forever. Um, and one thing that anybody in our industry, especially the roll forming part of the industry, excuse me, everybody knows Juan, and that's a testament to your personality and being out and doing the things that you had talked about. And I love is you talked about the name of the show, Building Wins, and there's a reason for that, right? One of it is we're in a building business, right? The general construction business, but it's Building Wins is what it's all about, and it's how we do what we do, and it's probably how you last 20 and 40 years in an industry, because if you don't come at it from a win building perspective, right? Building wins, being a win hunter, a hunter of wins, whatever that is. And you hit on it earlier. It's not just the business wins, right? We're looking for wins family wise, personal wise, health and fitness wise, business. I think I said, but you build all those wins together, and you've done that amazingly well. And it's clear because people gravitate to you. People gravitate to your company because of what you're one of probably two or three faces, but a face of Aztec, right? Along with Matt and his dad. And anyways, kudos to you also, I guess. We can. I think we've probably patted each other on the back enough now, because it's just we could have just said we're simply the greatest and went on, right? But
we can do this all day, Randy.
we could. We will in 3 weeks when we're together having a brew or two in Cincinnati. We probably will do that again. But speaking of that, I'm going to throw it out now just because I want to give some shout out to my friend Gary. Barry Broxman, Juan is my hero. Well, we understand. Why wouldn't he be? Barry has a very low bar, but still. It's been a long time since we've all been together. And I'm looking forward to being in Cincinnati for the Construction Roll Former show. I know we're going to spend a little time together. We talked about that off camera, and I just can't shout out enough about the show because I've got to know Gary very well. That owns the show, Shield Wall, and what a challenging time, right? I mean, we all come from an industry that was deemed essential, which I always hated that word, right? Because I think Bill and Alice trying to feed their kids, working at the local whatever, were pretty essential too. The word always bugged me, right? But with that said, you and I come from an industry that was strong going into this whole COVID thing, and come out even stronger, right? And we'll talk about a little of that maybe in a minute. But the Gary and all these people running shows. I mean, you want to talk about a kick in the teeth, right? I mean, one day you're doing it, the next day it's just done. So I'm excited that we're all going to be back. And my long-winded way of saying, I'm excited that we're all going to be back, seeing each other in person, and supporting Gary and the folks at Shield Wall that put a lot of effort into a show. So.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, our industry is a little bit, I guess, you mentioned essential, but it's really focused on obviously service, and the end user, the contractors that are out there hustling every day, making sure things get done right and on time, and that's what we service. So being at these shows and talking to the guys that are out on the roofs that are, making America move, keep going, especially in that industry. It's something that you really miss, because those are the guys that, hey, look, we love your product, or thank you so much for this. And I mean, we get calls every day about different applications where, hey, we have this application, can you help out with this? And it's good to actually be in front of them and talk to them and thank them for the support and the business, because this last year, like you said, it hasn't been easy. Not a lot of people made it through. Obviously, the construction industry is still growing. We've had a big increase in the last 6 months, but it's very exciting to go back to a show, shake some hands, tell people thank you so much, and kind of just get back to where we left off, 2019. So
Correct.
we're
Exactly.
looking forward to it. Really shows is what really drives Aztec. We make products for the contractors, the people that do the work. So getting feedback, getting more information from what they need, it really fuels us to kind of keep growing and get better. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know there's other shows that are scheduled for the later in the year, next year. So, but it looks like we're just going to get back on track. So
Yes.
very, very excited for that.
Can't wait. Can't wait. It's going to be awesome. So, I was remiss on one thing. Probably should ask the question. I know the answer, but probably should throw this out there for anybody that's watching that may not be familiar. What's Aztec Washer do? I mean, obviously you make washers in a big way. Washers for all types of fastening systems. In our world, it's the construction fastener world, but I assume you make washers for other industries too, I would guess. But that's still probably the product that you and I are the most involved with on a day-to-day basis is pipe boots, right? So maybe give me the thumbnail version of what does Aztec do, because I probably should have asked that early on, but we were too involved in telling each other how great we were, I guess.
Well, somebody has to do that occasionally, Randy.
Exactly.
Well, Aztec's been around since 1960. It started just making bonded washers for, like you said, all the self-tapping screws, the metal building industry. And for a very long time, we were the largest manufacturer of bonded washers. Further 15 years, once Aztec started, a lot of our customers started asking for some pipe flashings, pipe boots. And that's how Aztec started manufacturing Master Flash. And 10 years later, our line has grown to over, I think we have over 500 different SKUs of flashings that we have, different colors, different sizes, retrofit, stuff that goes into HVAC, residential, commercial buildings, just kind of overall anything that has to do with the roof or sidewall applications or pipe penetrations to buildings. Aztec has a flashing for that. Washer business-wise, we're still pretty prominent in the industry. We're best known for our quality or standards compared to other overseas manufacturers. But I mean, that business has obviously diminished throughout the last 10 years. But we're still I think the largest manufacturer in the U.S. for washers, and probably the largest manufacturer for flashings in the world.
And so you became the largest manufacturer in the world on the flashers, the pipe boots, whatever we all have these different terms for them. How long did you go from like nothing to number one?
Probably in the last 15 years, we've seen our largest growth. Aztec started with a square base flashing. We had 11 different sizes, and then from there, the people requested the round base retrofit applications, and then we started going into the residential industry, and then we started seeing other ventures, like you said, the HVAC. They might not be roofers, but they're always making holes in roofs or sidewall applications, and they need flashing. So we started getting into the HVAC industry. The solar industry was pretty big. A big increase for us in business about 7-8 years ago when solar was being moved throughout the states. So there's always little areas where we find where we can apply our flashings or our different products. But maybe in the last 15 years, we've seen our flashing business almost double.
Wow, yeah, that's impressive. Yeah, I know that I've seen either in your catalog online or at shows. One of my manufacturers that buys product from you and supplies, along with our other assortment of goods, if you will. I'm guessing it's for the cable companies or somebody where it's got like 17 all these different multiple size little ports coming off of it. I mean, you get into some pretty unique stuff outside of what I'm kind of used to, which is basically a boot that slides down over a pipe on a roof, right?
Oh yeah, we it's funny that you said that because doing these shows, that's when you talk to the contractors. It's like, hey, look, I need this product. I have four cables coming through here, or the solar industry was one of the big reasons we did a lot of these multi-ports where you have electrical cable, you have a copper wire coming through the same penetration. Then we make one flashing that seals them all. So we're always coming up with new little funky flashings, and they might not be the biggest seller or the number one selling, but it's an option that people have where, hey, look, I'm looking to make a first they want a guaranteed product that's going to last them more than 20 years. Second, they
Right.
want to look professional. Some contractors out there, they just fill it with sealant and or foam and forget about it. But there's out there that take pride in what they do. They want to make sure they have the best products on their jobs, and that's where flashings come in. They have all these different options for whatever application. So we do have little funky ones that just helps help resolve any problems that people might have in any application.
Right. Well, and that's a plus too with being at the trade shows, right? And meeting with the contractors, or like the roll former show coming up here in Cincinnati, maybe a little heavier to the actual roll form customer, obviously, because of the nature of the show, but it's still the people selling your product to the contractor, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's where you get some of the best information, right? If a contractor comes up and says, dude, if you could make this, and then, and I've seen you in the show booths before, and you don't blow these guys off. And I think that's important. Whether it ended up becoming a product or not, I mean, you might find out there can be three of them sold a year, and you can't do the R&D cost for that, right? But I've seen you with contractors in booths before, and you, you listen to what they're asking for, and at least they know that they're getting an audience, right? And many times, I'm sure there's probably some of the boots that you have available today probably came from some contractor or numerous contractors that shows over a year or two saying, all of a sudden you're going, geez, I've got 7 guys ask about this. If there's 7 guys asking, that's probably 7,000 guys that could use it, right?
Oh yeah. One of the new products that we got is the RVA, it's the roof vent adapter. So contractor says, hey, look, a lot of our customers are putting metal roofs on residential buildings, but they still want to use the same ventilation. And some of these turbines, wind turbines, the whirlybirds, I
Mhm.
guess, they have a big galvanized base, and that you can't really fold and you can't mold to any corrugated roof. So we came up with a flashing that, hey, look, we have this product that you can flash around the base and flash to the metal roof. And I mean, we thought it was going to be 100 pieces a year or so. Right now, we're probably selling over 2,000,
Oh,
which,
really?
yeah, and it's just little contractors, and particularly in Florida. Florida is a big state for where these RVAs go to. And there's a guy that, he says, hey, look, I want to try this product. I'm happy to send him one or two samples. And I tell him, hey, I'll send you the parts for free. Send me a few pictures of what you're doing so I can show other contractors of how it's done or where it's applied to. And it's a win-win for both. The contractor
Right.
gets a great product that solves a problem, and we get exposure with other people's doing, using our products on their application. So yeah, like the RVAs is a great example of that, of what you just said.
Yeah. So that little back and forth there sounded strangely like building wins together, doesn't it? little,
It
little,
is.
little. It is, but it is. I mean, you're constantly, back and forth. What's good for them becomes good for you, and so. Well, no, that's awesome. That's good stuff. So you you started. Now you made a note here. There it is, 1960. Where? Tell everybody where you're from. Where is the plant?
Okay, so when it started in the LA County in Los Angeles, California. It produced there for about 25 years, and then we moved down to produce in Tecate, Mexico, which is just right across the border. It's about an hour drive from our main offices here in San Diego, and that's where we manufacture 100% of our product. But that being said, all the materials that we use, all the raw materials, everything gets purchased and made here in the U.S. We just transport it down to our manufacturing plant, and then it brings right back up. We have three container loads a week full of finished products that comes up to our San Diego warehouse.
Wow, that many. And now that would be everything: pipe boots, flashers. That might
Washers.
be a big sale. Is that one of my customers?
I know, right?
You can take it if it is.
No, and everything qualifies for the Buy American Act. So that's what we still, because
Perfect.
everything
Beautiful.
that goes into our products is made in the U.S.
So those 3 containers a week you're going back and forth. Is that a combination of washers, boots,
Yes,
everything?
combination of both washers and boots.
So most people would know this, but I'm gonna drop my phone. But if people look at washers, pretty small. Pipe boots don't take a lot of space. 3 containers is a lot of product.
Oh yeah, we run about 2.5 shifts down there. We probably run about 6 days a week right now because demand is so high. But it's constantly a nonstop. I mean, we have containers. We still do a lot of export to Europe, so we have containers going out of here. Maybe once a week, we have a container going out of here. We have containers going out throughout the U.S. It's just we're always getting product in, which is good, especially right now with so many delays everywhere. We still haven't really stopped it, so it's been
good.
It's been a tough 6 months. The last 6 months, but we're still moving and still not enough. It's I'm always demanding more and more and more, which we've actually taken some steps to kind of increase our capacity. We started doing that last year, and hopefully by the summer, maybe the third quarter, we'll be able to increase our capacity by 30-40%.
Really? Wow. So Zach just popped on and said it was a first-class operation. Apparently, he must have toured that one time a few years ago.
Yeah, we had he came down here maybe about 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and showed him how we do things, how we manufacture down there, and we've really taken a lot of time and obviously money to expand that warehouse to make it a top-notch, first-class manufacturing facility.
Yeah.
We do take pride in everything that we do. Quality is number one. We don't like to take shortcuts when it comes to quality, because that's what we're known for. We want to be known as a good quality product that once you install it, you forget about it. You don't have to worry about it leaking or coming back to it every year. You set it and forget it, pretty much. It's almost like those ovens. Put a chicken in there, come back 20 minutes, you're good.
Yeah. There you go. So you mentioned with the containers back and forth and freight, how's that been for you're transferring back and forth between there and San Diego? I mean, I know freight, both container offshore, ship container has been tremendously challenging, but even trucks around the United States have been challenging, right? We all have been suffering some of that. Or yours is probably because of very short haul. Maybe and you probably have some contract haulers that are just doing this for you, or
we actually own our own trucks. We own 3 semis, and they come back for one guy goes pick up raw materials Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then the other guy brings back finished goods. So we own our own trucks. We have our drivers on the payroll, and all they do is making sure that we get stuff back and forth. So that makes it a lot easier. You can't
answered the question. You almost can't screw that up.
Well, there's times.
Well, of course, always happens, but that's one of many battles that are created right now in my world. Working with roll formers and other types of customers is getting product is freight, right? It's not always expensive, but kind of unreliable at times because there's so much stuff being moved around the country right now, right? It becomes a challenge. And then the same thing with anything that's coming from, like I said, from offshore. It's not only the cost, but the timing and how long it takes, and then does it get hit port, and you're not there because it's setting within a view of the port, right? That doesn't really tell you you're in good shape, right? Because it could take 3 weeks before it gets offloaded, and then 2 weeks before they get a truck under it, right? So just because it's setting in the water 900 yards from the the port doesn't necessarily always mean anything. So it's good that you are able to control your own destiny, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely an advantage, and I know even for shipping stuff, across the country, it freight right now it's having a hard time trying to keeping up.
Yes.
They're probably delayed 3 4 days. Where before transit time was 4 days to get to let's say to the Midwest. Now it's taking 7 8 days. If
Mm-hmm.
you ship stuff through the rail, that's been delayed for the last 4 or 5 months. We don't import anything, but when I export, I mean, I have to now plan ahead 6 8 weeks ahead to try to even get a booking and get it picked up and get it shipped. And even if it picks up, it's still, delayed after delay after delay. And it's just, I mean, I think worldwide it's just been a very, very chaotic times because of all these
Yeah,
delays. So we're
exactly.
hoping that once everybody gets back to work or back to it, things kind of level off. But I mean, with demand being so high, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be like this for the rest of the year.
Yeah, could be, could be. So Wes popped up another website, rpc.aztecwasher.com. Roof pitch calculator. That's something you guys came up with. How many years ago now? It's been a few years.
Oh yeah, it's been at least 10 years that we came up
Yeah.
with this calculator.
So
So
for contractor customers and even for roll form customers, lumberyard, whomever it is, what are we going to do with this thing? Tell me
So
about it.
yeah, this takes the guessing out of what pipe I can use for my roof. In some cases, most of our pipe flashings can go up to a 6/12 pitch, depending on the pipe range, and that's pretty much the standard out there in our industry. But in some cases, you have these roof pitches that are 12/12, 16/12. That like, hey, well, what flashing can I use this for? So this takes the whole guessing game out of what flashing you can use. You log on to rpc.aztecwasher.com. You put in the pipe flashing. You put if it's a round base, if it's a metal roof or residential, the pitch that you have, and then that pretty much gives you the top 5 flashings that you can use for that application. So instead of trying to do the math and get the angles of what you're doing, you just put that all in, and it gives you exactly what you can use. In some cases, especially for the extreme angles, they might not pop up there, but giving us a call at Aztec Washer, it's 1-800-WASHER-5. We would be happy to help out and see what other flashings can work. I think you and I had a discussion about something that was very extreme that wasn't coming up on the flashings, but I called my engineers. Hey guys, we have this installation. It's a 16/12 pitch. What can we use? They look up all their information. Say, hey, we can do this or we can use that one, and then we give you back the answer of what washer you can.
Right.
I mean, what flashing you can use. So this is
Use.
very helpful, especially just trying to get to know, hey, what flashing do I need to buy? And it takes the whole guessing game. You can do it all within a few minutes, and it tells you exactly what you need to use.
Nice. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, Wes has got 1-800-WASHER-5. I love it. Or Juan's personal cell phone. Call Juan. Call Juan. Call Juan. Anyways, well, that's good. That I know that I've used that numerous times. That is a good tool. I mean, you're right. You could try doing that math forever and never figure it out if you're not an engineer. It's tough.
I mean, for a contractor, that's the last thing you want to be spending time on. You want to be able to, hey, look, I need this product. Here's my installation. Boom, you have the answer right there. So we just want to make it easy for everybody to know, hey, what product I can use for my application. Right. Again, just another service-oriented,
exactly.
thing that we came up with just to help out the end user. And
exactly.
It's worked out
well,
very
and
well.
even for I guess what I call our retailers, the guys that people like myself would sell to, if their contractor calls in from a job site and he goes, hey, here's what I got. What do I use? Even if the contractor doesn't want to do it, it's great for my customer to be able to just jump online quick, stick it in. 3 minutes later, text him back, hey, you need a size whatever. I have them or I don't have them, but I can order one in a week when whatever. It's that's an invaluable thing to be able to do so. So when you were gracious enough to agree to come back and do a little added wins uh, um, recorded version after the live, we're getting close to probably wrapping up the live. I try to keep about 30 minutes, but I want to talk about when you come back, anything else you may want to talk about that we missed, but I want to talk about a little bit about where we go from here, from in your mind, what we've learned from 2020 going into 2021. You know, are we better prepared? Are we more prepared? What changes have you made? Anything else, if you don't mind, when you come back. But any last words while we're here together on the live today, Juan, that you might want to toss out to the folks?
No, well, first I want to thank you again, Randy, for having me on and being able to kind of just explain what Aztec does and you know what I've been doing for the 20 years. But first, I just want to thank all of our customers. You know, uh, I want to thank our distributors, and because I try to help out our distributors as much as possible, because I know with your growth, I grow. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
we're in this together. We're here to win together. Again, just to premise of the show, it's we're just looking forward to to the remainder of 2021 and you know the upcoming years. I'm just looking forward to working side by side with everyone, and you know everybody has a friend here at Aztec. So
Love it.
whatever you need, you know we're here for you, Randy.
You know it. I believe it. Truth. My friend, thank you for being on. Greatly appreciated. Look forward to seeing you about 3 weeks from today or tomorrow, whenever you get in Wednesday. So I'll see you in about 3 weeks. And
Sounds good, man. Looking forward to
maybe
it.
I'll buy you an iced tea or something.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet or unsweet? That's what I need to know.
Sweet, please.
Unbelievable. We may not be able to be friends any longer, but anyways, Juan, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Enjoyed talking with you. Wes going to pop you back into the back room for a minute, the green room as we call it, and we'll finish up and chat for another few minutes if that works for you.
Sounds perfect to me, Randy.
Sounds good. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it, buddy. There you go, folks. Juan Roman. He says it better I say it, but as we established, I've known Juan for 20 years. Class act, class company. Always enjoy time with him, and I always enjoy the way they really bring the building wins concept to the market, and great people. So if all your flashing needs out there, whatever level you are, whether contractor, a retailer, distributor, roll former, whatever you are, there's a good likelihood you're getting their product. If not, ask about it. It's a great product. So anyways, appreciate Juan being on. So look for a little added wins later in the week when Wes puts it up, probably Thursday, Friday. I think Friday he does it. But next week, we have Mike Brooks with Audit Sales. Mike is a B2B marketing pro, I guess is the best way to describe Mike. We're going to do some chatting about everything business to business oriented when it comes to sales, marketing, and old versus new, and where we're at, what we're doing. And you're going to enjoy the conversation. Mike was gracious enough to have me on his show probably 3 months ago, I'm guessing now. And we had a great chat. And I'm looking forward to having him here to chat with all of us about everything we do, which is building business to business, B2B. That's what I say. Anyway, so that's next week, Eastern time, 12 noon, Tuesday. And until then, remember, you get one shot. So live it, love it, own it, and go make this the best day ever. Till tomorrow. Cheers, everybody.